Hi folks, Marie here for some Real Talk with Coffee. And I want to talk today about giving yourself grace. I was talking to a Create Balance community member recently, and we were talking about forgiving yourself, right? And she was talking about the importance of forgiving herself for not being perfect and forgiving herself for not, being able to be at her peak at work when she's not sleeping through the night because she has a baby and all those things. And she and I were talking about that sense that we have as parents, maybe especially moms, depending on the situation, but also just the sense we have as people who want to do well in the world and be as good as possible, that we have to forgive ourselves when we fall below our own standards or fall below the standards of others. And there was something about the word forgiveness. I couldn't quite figure it out until later, but it didn't sit right with me because I imagine forgiving somebody is about when someone has done wrong or done something harmful. And I think it's really important to note, you and I, when we set our standards for ourselves too high, or maybe just right, but we can't hit it, that's not hitting that standard really rarely is hurtful. Very rarely are the standards we set for ourselves is missing them hurtful. Very rarely is not meeting somebody else's expectations actually hurtful. It might be annoying, it might cause a communication problem, but it's not gonna do damage most of the time. And so I think it's important, like forgiveness I like to reserve for something that's done damage or has caused hurt. And instead, I really want to think about how we give ourselves grace. I imagine grace being the sense of appreciation for what has happened, or appreciation for what's intended, or appreciation for what has been done, and an acknowledgement that not only is imperfection okay, that there is something to be celebrated in imperfection, and there's something to be celebrated about our wholeness of ourselves, not just the good parts, not just the ideal parts, but the whole of us that is not always as glossy or perfect as we might hope we could be. So I would like to encourage you this week to give yourself grace. You don't need to forgive yourself if you haven't done anything wrong. You can just give yourself grace and appreciate the whole person that you are and appreciate whatever you're able to bring to the situations you're in, whether or not you're hitting the standard you set for yourself. Giving yourself grace means appreciating what you are bringing and embracing that as well as the imperfections. So go forward, give yourself grace this week, and thanks so much for joining me. As always, check out createbalancelife.com. There's the Create Balance process in a month that you can download as a free download. You can also just join my newsletter. I send out articles every week. It's really the best place to get my Create Balance articles since I don't post to the blog quite as much as I used to. Thanks so much for watching.